Hey, friends, welcome aboard. If you're a guy over 50 and you're thinking about buying a boat, maybe it's your first, or maybe you're trading up or down, this one's for you. Buying a boat at this stage in life can be one of the best decisions you ever make, or one of the most frustrating. The key? Avoiding a few common traps that catch a lot of men in our age group. Now, I've seen it happen over and over. Guys chasing the dream, only to end up with a floating headache. And the truth is, what worked for you at 30 or 40 might not be what suits you now. We've earned the right to sail smarter, not harder. So today, I'm breaking down 5 big mistakes men over 50 often make when buying a boat. If you can dodge these, you'll end up with something that fits your life, your body, and your sailing style without breaking your back or your bank account. Let's get into it. One of the most common mistakes men over 50 make when buying a boat is going too big. It's easy to get swept up in the idea of extra space, bigger cabins, more storage, maybe room for guests, or that dream galley you've always wanted. But once you're out there handling it on your own or with a partner, reality sets in fast. Larger boats mean more weight, more sail area, more systems, and more complexity. Docking becomes trickier. Maintenance tasks get harder to reach. Even just climbing on and off can feel like a chore. At 50 plus, mobility isn't what it was in your 20s, and a boat that's too big can go from exciting to exhausting in a hurry. A lot of guys think, well, I might have visitors, or I want to be ready for longer trips. But the truth is, most of the time you'll sail with 1 or 2 people. You don't need a floating condo. You need a boat that's manageable, especially in rough weather or tight anchorages. A smaller boat doesn't mean giving up comfort. It means getting smarter about layout, storage, and sail plans. Boats in the 30 to 35 foot range are plenty capable and much easier to handle solo or with a partner. Look for things like a simple rig, furling systems, and easy deck access. And keep in mind that less weight and windage means less stress at the dock and better maneuverability. Bottom line, choose a boat that suits your actual lifestyle, not the fantasy version. You want to enjoy your time on the water, not fight your boat every step of the way. Comfort, safety, and ease of use should be higher priorities than length overall. You'll thank yourself every time you raise sail, pull into a slip, or climb aboard after a long day. Another major misstep is underestimating just how much maintenance a boat really requires. At 50 and beyond, the body starts pushing back on some of the heavy lifting, literally. And the boat doesn't care if your knees hurt or your back's a bit stiff. It still needs attention. Every system on board, plumbing, rigging, electrical, engine, steering, demands upkeep. Bigger boats and older boats mean more complexity and more things that can fail. Even new boats need regular checks, part replacements, and the occasional frustrating fix. If you buy a fixer-upper thinking you'll enjoy the project, be honest with yourself. Do you really want to spend your weekends in cramped bilges and tangled wiring? Neglecting routine maintenance doesn't just mean discomfort, it can become a safety issue. A failed bilge pump, corroded wiring, or sticking seacock could cause real problems offshore, and deferred maintenance leads to more expensive repairs down the line. One way to stay ahead is to look for simplicity. Fewer systems mean fewer headaches. Manual heads over electric, tiller steering over hydraulics, and straightforward rigging will reduce your workload and potential failures. Also, factor in the costs, not just in money, but in time and physical effort. If you plan to hire out the work, make sure that's in your budget. And remember that in some places, finding reliable marine service is easier said than done. Boats need regular love to stay seaworthy, and you don't want to feel overwhelmed or burned out by upkeep. Before you buy, go through the systems and ask yourself, can I handle this? Will I want to? It's far better to start with a boat that matches your energy level and mechanical ability than to take on a beautiful burden you grow to resent. As we age, our priorities change, and comfort becomes a lot more important than it might have been when we were younger and tougher. Unfortunately, many men over 50 buy boats without fully considering how accessible and livable the space is on a day-to-day basis. It's easy to be wowed by sleek interiors, shiny hardware, and big cockpits. But what's the companionway like? Can you move around below without bracing yourself on every bulkhead? Is there a handhold where you'll need one in rough seas? These are the questions that matter when you're living or cruising on board. Getting in and out of the boat, climbing the companionway, accessing the engine, and reaching lockers, these tasks add up quickly. If the cockpit seating is too low, if the companionway steps are steep and narrow, or if the berth requires crawling over someone to get out, it's going to wear you down over time. Comfort also includes the galley layout, headroom, ventilation, and sleeping arrangements. A boat that's well designed for real-world use will feel like a retreat, not a wrestling match. Think about cooking underway, using the head at anchor, or just moving from the bow to the stern. If something feels awkward now, it'll feel even worse after a few nights aboard. Pay attention to ergonomics. Rounded corners, non-slip decking, and easy-to-use controls aren't just luxuries. They're essential for staying safe and comfortable. Many older boat designs, though charming, don't always take mobility or aging bodies into account. In the end, you want a boat that works with your body, not against it. A few extra inches of headroom or a better-placed handrail can make a huge difference in your experience. If you're planning to cruise for weeks or months at a time, every detail matters. Choose wisely, and your boat becomes a pleasure, not a challenge. Easy handling isn't just about convenience, it's about safety and peace of mind. As we get older, reacting quickly to sudden changes becomes a little tougher. That's why many men over 50 run into trouble when they buy boats with complex sail plans, oversized gear, or systems that require brute force or acrobatic moves to operate. You want a boat that you can reef easily, tack without drama, and dock without needing a full crew. That means things like in-mast or in-boom furling, a self-tacking jib, electric winches, if needed, and lines led aft to the cockpit. It's not about being lazy, it's about sailing smarter and safer, especially if you're cruising solo or with a partner. Bigger boats often come with oversized mainsails and multiple head sails that look great at the dock but become a nightmare when the wind pipes up. If it takes 2 hands and a grunt to crank the winch, you're going to dread sail changes. And in tight harbors or strong crosswinds, maneuvering a heavy boat without bow thrusters or responsive handling can turn stressful fast. Choose a rig and layout that you can operate comfortably in all conditions. Pay attention to winch placement, visibility from the helm, and how easily you can reach the lines. Boats with balanced helm, simple rigging, and predictable behavior are worth their weight in gold when the weather turns. Also consider redundancy, dual fuel filters, manual bilge pump backups, a second way to steer. These details make a huge difference when you're the one handling everything on board. Easy handling doesn't mean you're giving up performance. It means you're making choices that allow you to enjoy sailing longer with less fatigue and fewer risks. A boat that's a joy to sail is a boat you'll use more, and that's the whole point. Skipping a proper sea trial and professional survey is one of the most avoidable yet common mistakes men over 50 make when buying a boat. After spending weeks or months searching, researching, and imagining life aboard, it's easy to get emotionally invested in a particular boat. You find one that seems just right. Maybe it's priced well, the seller seems honest, and the pictures look great. The temptation to fast-track the purchase can be strong, but overlooking this step can cost you more than money. It can steal your confidence, comfort, and even safety on the water. A sea trial isn't a formality. It's the only way to understand how the boat actually performs, beyond what's written in the listing or told by the broker. During the trial, you should pay close attention to how the engine starts, how it sounds and feels under load, how the boat tracks and turns, and how it responds to throttle and helm. Feel the vibrations, test the electronics underway, and run all the systems: autopilot, windlass, water pumps. Raise and lower the sails, check the furlers, reefing gear, and observe how easy or difficult everything is to manage from the cockpit. But even a sea trial has limits. That's where a professional survey comes in. A marine surveyor works for you, not the seller or broker, and inspects every critical part of the boat, from the keel bolts to the masthead. They'll check the moisture levels in the deck, the integrity of the hull, the condition of the rigging, and the functionality of all the systems. A good surveyor can spot signs of past repairs, hidden corrosion, tired rigging, or poorly maintained wiring that might look fine at first glance. For older buyers, a solid survey is especially important. You want a boat that doesn't just float. It needs to work well, be safe, and fit your physical needs. Climbing into tight engine compartments or rewiring a complex electrical system may not be as appealing as it was 20 years ago. Knowing the real condition of a boat gives you the power to make make an informed choice or negotiate a better price if issues are found. Also, always be wary of sellers who resist a sea trial or downplay the need for a survey. That's a red flag. And avoid using surveyors recommended by brokers. They may not be as objective as you need. A sea trial and survey might cost you a few hundred or even $1,000 up front, but it's a small price to pay for peace of mind. When you're over 50, you've earned the right to sail confidently, without the shadow of "what did I miss?" hanging over your head. Take the time. Do it right. You'll never regret knowing the truth about your boat before you sign on the dotted line. So there it is, 5 of the biggest mistakes men over 50 make when buying a boat. They're easy to fall into, especially when the excitement of boat shopping kicks in. But if you take a step back, slow things down, and approach the process with a clear head and a bit of experience on your side, you can avoid the traps that catch so many others. Remember, the goal isn't just to own a boat, it's to enjoy it. You want something that fits your life now, not what it used to be. Something you can handle, maintain, and feel good about every time you step aboard. When you get it right, owning a boat in your 50s and beyond can be one of the best chapters of your life. Thanks for sticking with me through this one. If you've already bought your boat, I hope this helped confirm you made the right choice, or gave you a few ideas on how to improve the experience. And if you're still searching, keep these 5 points in your back pocket. They just might save you time, money, and a whole lot of trouble. Until next time, take care, sail smart, and I'll see you out there.